Hey, how's it going? These are my three audience members for this speech today. So just go ahead and move down a little bit. 1, 2, 3. All right. So what I'm going to be speaking to you guys about today is why student athletes should not get paid. I'm going to talk to you guys about the scholarships that they receive already, about how it would affect the sports, smaller schools, and also how it's unfair to other students that attend the college. The last topic I will cover is it's a bill in California that recently got passed, and it helps student athletes there. So to start off, there's currently over 400,000 NCAA student athletes, and of those 400,000, do you guys know how many, like let's say for instance football, do you guys know how many of those athletes go professional?
No.
Probably about 375 a year to get drafted.
How many, what's the percentage?
Like 2.
2? You're actually pretty close. It's actually 1.7%. For baseball, it's 11.6, which is the highest, and then for basketball, it's 1.2%, which is pretty low. The only other sport that gets drafted less would be women's basketball, and that's at 0.9%. These student athletes, if they stick it out the full 4 years, they get their entire degree paid for, just for playing the sport. Also, that includes the room and board, the tuition, and even though they're on these scholarships, it doesn't mean that they can't take advantage of other financial aid opportunities they have in the school. So smaller schools, everybody has this misconception that all these schools and that the NCAA makes all this money, but in reality, only 23 of 228 Division I schools generate enough money to cover their own expenses. It's really not that much. So what that means for smaller schools is these 23 that make that much money, they're going to have most money to pay the best high school players. So pretty much the sport isn't even going to be as competitive anymore. A lot of people love the game because of the Cinderella stories and because every team pretty much has a fighting chance. But if you start paying players, then it's not going to be as competitive, and then people aren't going to watch it as much. Also, with this money, the schools, they have to pay the coaches, they have to pay the athletic trainers, they have to pay your, just basically the entire staff needs to be paid. And also, out of all the money that's made, that the NCAA makes, that people think is profits, 90% of that money actually goes towards supporting the student athletes. Next, we're going to talk about other students. So imagine being a regular student there. You're just going to school, taking your classes. You got to pay for your own classes. You got to pay for your own board. You got to pay for your books. The average student graduates with debt around $35,000. So if you're a student athlete, you can pretty much see right there you're saving yourself $35,000. And then you don't have to worry about all those school loans. The average amount that a person makes that has their bachelor's degree a week it's over $1,000, which comes out to roughly $45,000 a year. If you just have your high school diploma, you're making about $638 a week, which only comes out to $30,000 a year. So you can see the difference right there, being able to get that free scholarship, that free education. And then also what surprised me is that of all the student athletes, about 82% of them actually graduate with their degree, and that exceeds the normal student, the average student that's going there. And then these student athletes, although they may ask for money, playing in college, no one's forcing them to do it. They can go play wherever they want. There's alternative routes to get to the NBA, to get to baseball, to get to football. So one of the stories I'm going to share with you guys is about an NBA player. His name is Brandon Jennings. A few years ago, he actually declined going to college, and he went straight overseas. He played for a European team, and they paid him $1.65 million for a 3-year contract. So that's $1.65 million more than he has than any other college athlete. He went over there, he played that 1 year. While he was over there, he also picked up one of the endorsements from Under Armour worth $2 million. and along with that, he gets to take his own family. So he played his 1 year, and then he was eligible for the NBA draft. He got drafted, and now he's in the NBA. That's one route that they can take. For football, they have what's called the CFL, the Canadian Football League, and that doesn't have an age limit. So if you're that good in high school, you want to go play football in Canada. They'll pay you to do it, and you only got to wait 3 or 4 years, and you can be drafted by the NFL. And then for basketball, they have the D League, which is the developmental league. And if you're that good, they have open tryouts, and you can go attend some of the open tryouts and then be picked up by a team. That's one way you can do it. So these athletes aren't stuck in college. Matter of fact, they get access to better coaching, to better training, to better equipment and facilities. Athletes that are in the Olympics or that want to be in the Olympics, they have to pay thousands of dollars a year for these same facilities. And then the bill that was passed in California, it's actually called the Student Athlete Bill of Rights. And while I don't think that student athletes should be paid, I think that they should be insured because they're playing the game for the school, and if they get hurt and they can't do anything, they should have some type of way to still get through school. So what they did in California is if the college receives more than $10 million in sports media revenue, and if the student athlete gets hurt playing that sport, he gets that scholarship for 4 years. So he basically gets a free degree, which is still good. So does anybody have any questions about the bill in California, or questions or comments?
I have a question. Is it only in California that the bill passed?
Yeah, it's only in California, so that's pretty much it. So pretty much we covered the scholarships that athletes get and how it's paid for, how it affects small schools, how it affects the game, and then we covered the new bill in California that I think that the NCAA itself should implement to help all student athletes everywhere. So if you guys don't have anything else, thank you for your time.